I'm Kristen, and it is almost Valentine's Day yet again. So if you're stumped and you need to find a new dessert that you'd like to maybe make for your family on Valentine's Day, then just keep watching and I'll show you a great one. So first thing you're going to want to do is preheat your oven to 350 and then get a 12 by 17 half sheet pan and put a piece of parchment paper down. And then hopefully I have enough spray, nonstick spray here, but we're just gonna spray the parchment paper very well because we don't want the cake to stick at all. Probably isn't a necessary step, but I want to just get a little basting brush here and just make sure that we have an even coat of the spray on the parchment. Okay, so in this medium-sized bowl here, I'm going to whisk 1 cup of all-purpose flour.
Wait, it's not in view.
And then in this little ramekin here, I have 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and salt, which is hard to see, but that goes in as well. And then I'll just whisk these dry ingredients together and set aside. Okay, and then we have 4 eggs, large eggs, in a larger bowl. And then I'm going to just whisk these together until they've lightened in color. Okay, and then to the whisked eggs, we're going to add in, excuse my timer, 3/4 cup of sugar and 1 tablespoon of canola oil. And then whisk this together. And then after it's whisked in, then we have 2 tablespoons of buttermilk. Very thick. And then a tablespoon of vinegar and a tablespoon of vanilla extract. And then whisk those. Oh, and the food coloring. And then 2 drops of pink food coloring. My daughter had to do this part. And then whisk those together, which it's not really pink enough, so we're going to add just a little bit more in. Just do 2 more drops.
It's like a weird peach color.
Yeah, do 2 drops, 2 more drops. And this is gel food coloring. It's supposed to have a more intense color than the liquid, but we'll see. We're getting there. Maybe just a little bit more. We're going to play with this and be right back. So this is several drops. Okay, it took more than 2, which the recipe suggested. So then I put in half of the dry ingredients. Stir that in. Okay, and then put in the other half, and I'm going to stir until just combined. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this whisk and get a spoon. The color in person looks more pink and vibrant than it does in the camera, just so you know. It is a pale pink. But anyway, we stir it until just combine, and so we have our batter here. And this is going to be a really thin cake. And it's not going to take long at all to bake. That's kind of one of the things I like about this cake. It'll take like 15 minutes to bake, and it's done. So it's going to like barely cover the surface of this pan, and that kind of freaked me out the first time I did this type of cake. I've never made a cake in a sheet pan like this, but as you can see, it's really thin. So I'm just gonna kind of spread it out as evenly as I can, and make sure we don't have like super thin spots and thicker spots. Just kind of get the air bubbles out. And then we'll put it in the oven. So now this is gonna go in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. Just to play it safe though, I'm gonna check it at 12 minutes. Check it. Okay, so you're gonna wanna get a tea towel out, a thin one, and then dust it really liberally with powdered sugar. This will keep the cake from sticking to the towel when you roll it up. And I'll just smooth it over with my hands. Okay, so this is after 12 minutes. Let's take a look-see here if it's done. It looks like it's done. We have some nice coloring here. Let's get a toothpick here. Yeah, I think it's done. It's hard to tell with a cake that's so thin, but we're gonna call it done because we have some nice golden brown color here. So it's done. So now as soon as the cake is done, don't wait, flip it out onto the dusted tea towel. So here we go. And there we go. A little bit of the cake came off in the pan, as you can see, but it's okay. Okay, so now, while it's still hot, ooh, we did it a little crooked.
You did it a little.
I did.
Not me.
We got to roll it up. So then you just take your towel and just carefully, you want to do this so that it doesn't crack or break. So just roll it up just like this. Get a little sheet pan with a wire rack and put it seam side down on the rack, and then, ooh, the seam is right here. There we go. And then I'll put it in the fridge and let it cool, completely cool. All right, so now I'm going to make the cream cheese frosting. So I have 8 ounces of room temperature cream cheese and a 1/4 cup of room temperature butter. And I'll just use my mixer to get these mixed together and smooth for about 2 minutes. And now I'll add 3 cups of powdered sugar and a little bit of vanilla. I just did half a capful, you know, like a teaspoon. And then just a little tiny sprinkle of salt. And then I'll just get my mixer again and mix all these together till they're smooth. And then be ready to frost and fill the cake. So I'm going to also reserve a 1/2 cup of the frosting so that, because this is going to also fill the cake and frost the outside of it. So I'm just taking 1/2 cup out so that I don't use all of it on the inside. I have enough for the outside too. Okay, this is the cake after it's chilled for about 3 hours in the fridge. And now I'm going to unroll the cake out of the tea towel. This is always kind of a, yeah, unrolling it and then rolling it back up is always a little bit stressful because I don't want to crack it or break it too much. But it unrolled fine. So we're good to go. Ready to start using spreading the cream cheese filling on the inside. And then I'll roll it back up, frost the outside, and it'll be done. And can I just be totally honest, though? I did overbake this a little bit. When we tested it after it was all frosted and everything, it was a little bit dry, to be totally honest. The flavor was great, but it is a little bit dry. So I did bake mine for 12 minutes. That's my husband, by the way. He was being funny with his hand. But next time I will check it after, actually, I think I'll let it go just 10 minutes and check it because 12 minutes was just a little bit too long. It was a little bit dry, but I will make this again and just bake it for a little bit less. And I think it will be absolutely just perfect. But anyway, just spreading the cream cheese filling on the inside here. And I'm trying to be careful. I don't want to tear the cake, you know, or get too much of the crumb mixed in with the frosting, you know, when you're frosting a cake. But this was in the fridge long enough, so I'm sure it's fine. Okay, so rolling it back up after I frosted it. And this is the part that's kind of stressful. You don't want it to be sticking to the towel, or I don't want to crack it or break it when I'm rolling up, but still keeping it, you know, kind of tight, you know, so it stays together and everything. But it worked out fine. All is good. There we go. And so I'm just going to get the tea towel out from under it and put it on the cutting board, and here it is. It's all done. So now I'm going to frost the outside of the cake. I'm just going to take the reserved half a cup of frosting and just spread it all over the outside of the cake and decorate it with some sprinkles, and it will be done. Then this will keep in the fridge for up to 3 days. Just put it on a dish, you know, and cover it with saran wrap, and it'll be good to go for a couple of days in the fridge. Which I would be surprised if this lasted that long, because we all really like this dessert. Also, I was thinking you could probably make this with a box cake mix too, like a Duncan Hines, like a strawberry flavored cake mix. That would probably be good in this too, because when you bake it, it'll be really thin, and I think it would work fine with a box cake mix is what I'm saying, if you want to do that. But nonetheless, either way, however you want to do this, make this cake. You will enjoy it. I will link this recipe in the description box for you, the one that I found on Pinterest. And happy Valentine's Day. This is a really wonderful dessert. I like it. I like it, as I've said many times. But anyway, if you enjoy my content and you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. I do lots of cooking and baking over here. I do a little bit of DIY stuff too. It's just, I like to be creative, and this is a good outlet for it. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.